Spartacus was born a long time ago in a place called Thrace. Thrace was a land of mountains, forests, and rivers, located in what is now parts of Bulgaria, Greece, and Turkey. Not much is known about his early life, but we can imagine what it might have been like. As a young boy, Spartacus may have lived in a small village nestled in the hills of Thrace. He likely spent his days playing with other children, exploring the forests, and helping his family with chores. Thrace was a land of warriors and hunters, and Spartacus may have learned the skills of survival from a young age. Perhaps he listened to stories of brave heroes and dreamed of becoming one himself one day. But as Spartacus grew older, his life would take a dramatic turn, one that would lead him from the tranquil hills of Thrace to the bustling streets of ancient Rome. He was a soldier in his homeland, but his life took a dramatic turn when he was captured by Roman soldiers and sold into slavery. Taken far from his home, Spartacus found himself in Capua, a city in Italy, where he was forced to become a gladiator. As a gladiator, Spartacus had to fight in deadly battles for the entertainment of Roman spectators. Life as a gladiator was tough. Spartacus and his fellow gladiators endured harsh training and faced the constant threat of death in the arena. But Spartacus was determined to survive and regain his freedom. Despite the hardships, Spartacus showed remarkable courage and skill in the arena. He became known for his strength and bravery, earning the respect of his fellow gladiators and the admiration of the crowds. But Spartacus knew that he couldn't live as a slave forever. Spartacus and about 70 other gladiators decided they had enough. They began to secretly plan their escape from Capua, their captor's stronghold. They knew it wouldn't be easy, but they were determined to break free from their chains and live as free men once again. The gladiators carefully collected weapons and tools, hiding them away for the right moment. They waited for the perfect opportunity to strike, biding their time and staying alert for any chance to make their escape. Finally, the day of reckoning arrived. Spartacus and his comrades seized their chance and launched their daring breakout. With weapons in hand, they overwhelmed their guards and fought their way out of captivity, determined to reclaim their freedom at any cost. Once outside the walls of Capua, Spartacus and his fellow escapees fled into the countryside, running as fast as they could. After Spartacus and his fellow gladiators broke free from captivity in Capua, they faced a daunting challenge: surviving in the wild and evading capture by the Roman authorities. But Spartacus was not one to back down from a challenge. With determination and cunning, he rallied his followers and led them deeper into the mountains and forests of southern Italy. Spartacus emerged as a natural leader, inspiring hope and courage in his fellow escapees. He devised clever strategies to avoid detection by Roman patrols and organized the group into a disciplined fighting force. As they traveled, Spartacus and his followers raided Roman estates and settlements, seizing food, weapons, and other supplies to sustain their rebellion. They also liberated other slaves they encountered along the way, swelling their ranks with new recruits eager to join the fight for freedom. What the rebellion didn't know was that many battles were yet to come. Spartacus and his band of rebels sought refuge atop Mount Vesuvius. They knew the mountain's rugged terrain would give them a strategic advantage against the Roman legions. Praetor Gaius Claudius Glaber, a Roman commander, was determined to crush the rebellion and sent his soldiers to attack Spartacus's stronghold on the mountain. But Spartacus had a plan. As the Roman soldiers attempted to scale the mountain, Spartacus and his followers unleashed a barrage of rocks and boulders, sending them tumbling back down the slopes. The rebels used their knowledge of the terrain to their advantage, making it nearly impossible for the Romans to advance. Despite being vastly outnumbered, Spartacus and his rebels held their ground and fought with incredible bravery. They refused to back down in the face of adversity. Sensing an opportunity, Spartacus launched a daring counterattack, catching the Roman soldiers off guard. With their superior knowledge of the terrain, the rebels managed to outmaneuver the Romans and secure a decisive victory. After their stunning victory at Mount Vesuvius, Spartacus and his followers marched through the regions of Campania and Lucania, leaving a trail of chaos in their wake. Along the way, they clashed with several smaller Roman forces sent to suppress the rebellion. Despite being outnumbered, Spartacus and his rebels fought with unmatched ferocity and determination. One of the most memorable battles took place in the fields of Campania. Spartacus's army faced off against a Roman detachment led by a praetor named Publius Varinius. The Romans were confident in their superior numbers and discipline, but Spartacus had other plans. Using clever tactics and swift maneuvers, the rebels outflanked and outmaneuvered the Roman forces, scoring a decisive victory. Emboldened by their success, Spartacus and his army continued their march through Lucania, where they encountered more Roman resistance. In the rugged terrain of Lucania, the rebels faced fierce opposition from Roman legions determined to crush the rebellion. But Spartacus's leadership and the determination of his followers proved to be their greatest assets. Despite the odds stacked against them, Spartacus and his rebels emerged victorious once again, defeating multiple Roman forces and further weakening Rome's control over southern Italy. Following these battles, Spartacus also defeated two consular armies, led by the Roman generals Publius Varinius and Lucius Gellius Publicola, and he defeated the Roman forces under the command of praetors Cosinius and Lentulus in a series of battles. Along the way, they came across the city of Mutina, located in northern Italy. Spartacus saw Mutina as a symbol of Roman power and oppression. He knew that capturing the city would not only provide his army with valuable resources, but also strike a blow against their Roman oppressors. Spartacus and his followers laid siege to Mutina, surrounding it and cutting off its supply lines. The people inside the city were afraid, knowing that they were outnumbered by the rebel army. The rebels launched several attacks on Mutina's defenses, trying to break through and capture the city. They fought bravely, but the defenders of Mutina were determined to hold their ground. The siege lasted for weeks, with both sides enduring hardships and losses. Spartacus and his army faced hunger and fatigue, while the people of Mutina struggled to withstand the constant attacks. In the end, Spartacus's forces managed to breach the city walls and overpower the defenders. They seized control of Mutina, capturing its wealth and resources to sustain their rebellion against Rome. The siege of Mutina was a significant victory for Spartacus and his followers. It showed the world that they were a force to be reckoned with, and that they would stop at nothing to fight for their freedom. But their luck would soon run out. At the Battle of the Sila River, Spartacus's rebel army clashed with the disciplined forces of Crassus. The Romans had superior numbers and better weapons, but Spartacus and his fighters were determined to resist to the end. The battle was fierce and bloody. Spartacus fought bravely at the front lines, leading his men with courage and determination. But despite their valor, the rebels were overwhelmed by the disciplined tactics of the Roman legions. Despite their determination, Spartacus and his army were outnumbered and outmatched by the well-trained Roman soldiers. The rebels fought valiantly, but they were unable to overcome the disciplined Roman forces. In the end, Spartacus was killed in the midst of the battle, along with many of his followers. The rebellion was crushed, and those who survived were captured by the Romans. After the battle, the Roman soldiers crucified the captured rebels along the Appian Way, a road leading to Rome. This was a brutal punishment meant to serve as a warning to others who might dare to challenge the authority of Rome. Though Spartacus was defeated, his bravery and defiance against tyranny live on as a symbol of courage and resistance. His story continues to inspire people around the world to stand up for what they believe in, even in the face of overwhelming odds.